How do you stay stubborn or stick to your vision for a long time without being tempted to do what other people are doing? How do you go against the crowd?
I don't know if I always do.
Sometimes going with the crowd can be profitable.
Well, I think there's a few different that question's actually complicated, right? That question's complicated. I think one thing my friend said to me years ago, Andrew Chen, and I highly recommend following Andrew Chen. I love his material. He's one of the smartest people I know. He's the only investor advisor in AppSumo. But he said something to me. He's like, no, do you want to innovate 9 out of 10? Because that's hard. So why don't you just innovate 1 out of 10 and then look at 9 out of 10 of the best practices and just copy those? Because I'm trying to be unique in every fucking single thing I do. Because I'm special. We're all special, I know. But that stuck with me. He's like, figure the one thing you're going to be unique on and innovate on, and everything else just kind of use the best practices. I think in terms of sticking to your stuff, I was doing this variety show a few weeks ago, and I kept getting rejected. And I think rejection is a test of conviction. So that rejection of like, hey, am I going to stick with it, is a test of do you really want this or not? And so I don't generally do long-term stuff. I choose about 6 months to 12 months. And I spend a lot of time thinking about what I really want. And getting what you want is a fucking joke. Getting what you want is easy. Every single person out there, Ravi, Molly, you, Chris, me, Just, Logan, getting stuff is fucking easy. Any one of us can work. My mom, by the way, like, let me give you an example. She always fluctuates on these diets. She does a watermelon diet. She'll eat just watermelon for 30 days. Fucking insane. Doing that is fucking easy. But getting what you want or figuring out what you want is fucking hard. It's really hard. And so I think you have to figure out different ways. If it's psychedelics, if it's journaling, if it's walking, if it's writing. A lot of it is thinking. Some of it too is like, you'll get to those points also by getting started. Because sometimes you don't know what the destination is going to look like. I think there's different ways of approaching it. But important, really about what you want. And maybe don't do a 10-year plan, do a 6-month plan.
Give me like sub questions that nest into that. So if you're asking yourself like, what do I want? It's like that. It's very vague. How do you narrow it down, or questions that kind of feed into that so you can zero in on the target?
I mean, I hate this fucking answer. So the answer that you always fucking hear is, well, figure out what you don't like.
Okay.
I mean, I think what's interesting is let me just maybe simplify it. I'll give you two action items around that. Number one, look what you've just been doing that you've always enjoyed. What the fuck you always do? What do you default to without being told what to do? And do that. And number two, look at what you're doing for free. I would do everything I'm doing in my life right now, I'm doing for free. Mm-hmm. And so then it's not, I'm just going to keep fucking doing it. And guess what? I think we're going to end up making a lot more money than we've ever made because we're not trying to make money. So look, those are two actions that I think are actually helpful.
Yeah, like looking at your nights and weekends and what are you spending your time doing, and how could you build a business around it? Yeah,
totally. And I think the thing right now, just to clarify that though, is that if you're a gamer and you're like, I love gaming, I'm going to be a Twitch famous. Awesome. Only 10 of the Twitch gamers out there make $1 million. I think about 10 of them. So what people still mistaken now, I've talked to a few people, they're like, yeah, I want to be a Twitch gamer, but I'm not going to be in the top 10. You need to be open-minded to a spectrum of adjusting that, where can I create a platform that teaches gamers? Can I adjust it to having gamer cafes? Can I do a gamer conference? So how can you take your interest and maybe shift it a little bit to what the market is requesting of you?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's what's so cool about AppSumo as a company, is that as opposed to being a chess piece, a software company, it's like, let's just create the board, and then we'll be the place where then we're a resource for all of those chess pieces.
It's dope. I mean, I think the thing that's really challenging, I'll speak for myself, is it's just hard not to be greedy. It's really hard not to be greedy, because with AppSumo, we're like, man, we promote deposit photos. These guys and girls make all this money. We should create a deposit photo site. And so I think you have to that person's question, which is a really good one, what are you trying to do here? And what really matters to you? And so recently for me with YouTube, I was like, I need more views. Oh my God, this video, I spent hours on it. It got only 500 views. Holy fuck. And then someone asked me, oh, are you doing it for the views, or did you make the video that you wanted? I was like, I'm really proud of that video, and I think it's going to make a difference. And I'm proud of it, for me, just for me. And then I stopped looking at the views. And then the views go up. So I'm not saying just close your fucking eyes and drive your car and hope you get there. But I am saying that take it with a grain of salt, and not with a grain, I don't even know what that means, but take it with some consideration of detaching yourself from the ego and staying as true to the path that you're personally interested in.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap this up. I think this was incredibly powerful and impactful for people. I hope this spurs people to action. So once again, what is the number one thing people should be doing today? What action should they take today?
The one that they committed to.
All right.
I think the one thing I would only encourage, this guy named Joe emailed me a week ago, and he's like, Noah, I want to hit my goal. And I was like, what's your goal? He's like, I want to make 50,000 MRR this year. I was like, what are you at now? He's like, 10 or 13. I was like, well, that's not fucking great. So it's doable. So, and then I said, well, if you want a 5x your business this year, how much of your week is allocated toward that 5x time? He's like, very little. I was like, so what are you going to do this today around the 5x time? He's like, yeah, I'm going to do sales and marketing. I was like, that's not good enough. What are you going to do today? Walk me through from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's a 5x activity. And he's like, I get your point. And I think the point out there is spend more time thinking about what you want, really want it. Like I, in the past, was like, I want 1 million followers, or I want 1 million people on the AppSumo mail list. I don't care if I help 1 million people or 100 people. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't do anything to me. But be clear on that for yourself. And then look at your day to day. Like Erica, if you're trying to create a side hustle, if you're trying to get some business stuff going, how much of your day is spent on that?
So it sounds like what you're saying is be more specific. Don't say I'm going to work on sales and marketing. Say I'm going to execute 1, 2, and 3 tasks. Yeah. This is going to take 25 minutes. This will be
exactly. And get the one. I'm not saying you have to Pomodoro, fucking whatever productivity system you use. But if you're just starting out, get $1. And if you've already had a few dollars, just focus on whatever the most important thing is that day and just do that.
Did you like what you just saw? Well, great, because our YouTube channel is chock full of tips on how to grow your online business and learn from the best in the industry. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out. And if you're looking for the absolute best software for entrepreneurs at the lowest possible price, then you should absolutely head over to appsumo.com and subscribe to our email list. Heck, we'll even throw in 10% off your first order just to make it a no-brainer. Now, you're in on one of the best kept secrets in software.